one of my subscribers have been begging me for this video, and I'm gonna be delivering this weekend, bro. This is What If Homelander was in Jupiter's Legacy Part 2. Now, this What If has been on the back burner for a little while. I've been thinking hard and long about what Season 2, Episode 2, Season 1 is going to be like. Now, basically, in my opinion, guys, I think I talked about this in Part 1. We should definitely get Season 2 to this. Like, Season 2 to this would go hard, but yet again, this is literally just The Boys, but mixed with Invincible. And I feel like Invincible with their Season 2 already dropping. And also The Boys Season 4, Season 3, I can remember dropping soon. Like, it's gonna be bangers back to back. But I really want maybe like even a fan-made animated edit like Season 2 of this, bro. Because like we need a Season 2 of this, bro. Because I don't know about you, when I get really desperate on this show, I'll possibly buy the novels. But honestly, I'm not a book reading type of guy, so I'll probably never even read the novels. To keep it a bug with you. But let's just dive right into the series. Now, last time I left off is where Homelander talked to, well, Landon about how he killed Black Star and how he did the right thing, and that doing those things to save the people you love, doing the hard thing, doing that would save a lot of people's lives, and you saved your parents' lives, and you did the right thing, and you had to live with that. But yet again, it was the right choice. Now we could switch to the press talking to, well, the league, talking to the superheroes, and talking to pretty much Utopia and his wife, and also the black girl. I forgot her name to keep it a buck with you. But everybody would start to be talking, saying, no justice, please, blah, blah, blah. Basically saying that what Landon did was right, and he did the right thing, and he saved people's lives. We can switch back to the farm as, well, Utopian would have gone there and basically would have started to talk to Landon about everything. And Landon would have said that what he's doing, the code and everything, is kind of bullshit. In this situation, he would have said that. Saying that what he's doing, what he did, he regrets, but he did the right thing. As the words of Homelander would have been wrapping around Landon's brain. So that what he did was the right thing, and that what he did, he regrets it a little bit. But he saw his friends get murdered in front of him. I saw you and Mom almost die. I would have made that choice 1,000 times over. Would you? As we would have stopped for a pause. But eventually, Utopian would have told him that one day you're going to have to take my legacy. You're going to have to take my role. You need to learn the code. You need to stick by it. As Landon would have tried to sigh, saying that I understand why you want the code to be so real, but why you want it to actually do something. But people are dying out here. Villains aren't playing the same games that we used to play. They're killing us. They don't care about the code. They don't care about anything. As, well, Landon was starting to get a little angry at his dad, but his dad's saying that you're going to be just like me. You're going to have to take the responsibilities of me. As pretty much Landon said, I'm not like you, Dad. I can't shoot lasers out of my eyes. As Toby would have said, not yet you can't. Not yet. As Landon would have just sighed. As we would say that, well, Utopian would have told him, you're going to stay on the farm for some days, to clear your head, to let it settle down. As Landon would have gotten a little pissed, as Utopian would have flew off. As we could switch to, basically, well, in the past, before, the group to, well, the brother, Brainstorm, and also Utopian, their brothers, before they got their powers, we switched to the pretty much flashback of everything that's going on about the economy breaking down, their father killing himself, and yada yada, the simple stuff. As we get switched back to present time, as we see that one of the superheroes would have been talking to his daughter about everything, and his daughter would have told her that I honestly don't think I want to be a super or be a part of the hero society anymore. As he would have told her that it's up to you, and that this isn't for the faint of heart. I never wanted you to follow me through this path, to follow me into this life. As they would have had a talk, as we get switched away from that situation, as I wish they actually put a lot more emphasis on different characters in season 1 and actually fleshed out all the characters like really well, because I'm pretty sure they were just giving us a little bit, because I thought they would. I think they assumed that they were going to get a season 2. You should never assume you're going to get a season 2 with a show that's like tricky like this. But we get switched to present time with Utopian showing up to his daughter's house and talking to her. He would have been talking to Chloe, as Chloe would have talked to him, and they would have just started talking back to back, as he would have said that, why do we fight so much? Why do we go against each other's heads all the time? As basically she would have gone on about how it's just you. You've been like this our whole childhood. You've been out of our lives. You've been thinking you're perfect, but our family isn't perfect, Dad. We aren't perfect. As Utopian would have gotten up and would have said that maybe we should talk more. Maybe we've been fighting so long to a point where it's the only thing we know what to do with each other, but we need to stop that. We need to be a family again. And she would have scoffed off, and Utopia leaving her house. As we get switched back into past with, Utopian and his brother, as nothing in the story, nothing in the flashbacks would have changed at all, so I'm just going to be skipping through all these. There's flashbacks with everything, never really happened, but I will be doing flashbacks. The flashback scenes will be replaced with a spin-off, little story about how Homelander, his early years would have affected the journeyings of the Society of Heroes. As we get switched back to present time. Now, present time, it would have been the funeral, as Lena would have been getting ready and his mom would have helped him out. As Lena would have basically said that, I don't feel good. I don't know what to say. I was there and I couldn't help them. And she would have said that it's okay. You need to be there, okay? As we would have gotten a knock at the door by Homelander. As Homelander would have been basically sitting there saying, hey, what's up? As he would have wanted to talk to Landon. Before the funeral would have happened, Landon and Homelander would have flew down to a nearby rock mountain, or nearby mountain side, as they would have started to talk to each other. As Homelander would have told him that, I've been thinking. Last time we talked, you were in a dark place and I helped you. As Landon would have said, yeah, you did, and I thank you for that. As Homelander would have been smirking, knowing that, well, what he said affected him a little bit, and that he was trying to make Landon his apprentice. Landon could be powerful. He could be a force to be reckoned with, but he holds back too much. He's afraid of hurting people. He's afraid of hurting a villain. But Homelander wants to break that fear. Homelander doesn't hold back with his strength, not much at least, to a point where if he really went all out with the villain, he would kill them in a second. As Homelander does hold back, but not as much as Utopian does, not as much as Landon does. He doesn't care about accidentally killing a villain. As long as they did something bad, as long as they murdered a family of 5, as long as they raped somebody, as long as they did something horrendous, he doesn't matter if they die or live, as long as they get what they deserve. As we would switch to the funeral, as the funeral would have gone somewhat the same, Homelander being there as well, as he would have been standing next to Landon. As we had a flashback back and forth with, well, Utopian and his father's funeral and how he felt that day. As we were seeing that, Landon would have gotten up and would have started to talk about his family, his friends, and how they were all heroes in their own right and they died a hero's fate. As we get switched to, well, Homelander actually having some words as well. As he would have said he knew Geo personally. They were old friends. And he helped Geo in his early years as well. Geo was a good apprentice for a while. Our powers were incredibly different, but we found a common ground. We cared for each other, and I cared for him, and I helped him with his family at times when he needed it the most. I knew Geo, and I knew all of his friends well. I knew Fire Fist as well. I knew all of them, and they were all phenomenal heroes, phenomenal people, phenomenal human beings. But what Blackstar did to them was something unacceptable. But at the end of the day, at the end of our line, being a hero isn't the easiest thing. It isn't for the faint of heart. But they were heroes, and they saved people's lives that day. especially Landon. As Landon would have basically been praised by Homelander. Homelander having a little bit of like a talk saying that Landon did the right thing. As everybody would have actually kind of, some of the police officers in the back would have actually agreed with him. As, well, Utopian would have gotten a little bit pissed, muttering under his voice saying, "What the hell did you just say?" As, the sermon, the whatever, would have ended, as everybody would have gone into their cars about to leave the funeral, or leave the, well, not funeral, but leave the grave site, or graveyard. As basically, Landon would have started to talk to Gio's wife and kids, saying that, if you need anything, just ask. As she would have said, yeah, thanks. As the police chief would have gave her some money that the police, pretty much made and scammed just as much money as they could to help her out. As she would have said thank you. As we see that the cop would have told Landon that he did the right thing and that he should have done it a lot earlier and that he deserved it. As Landon would have kind of gotten a little bit corrupted even more by the police's words, on top of Homelander's words, earlier today and the day of. As Utopian would have overheard this with a super hearing, as we get switched to the house, as Utopian would have had an argument with his wife about what they said about Landon, and how they think Landon did the right thing, and how they're praising him for killing or taking a life. As we get switched back to the past, but in this universe, we get switched to a past, as Homelander would have been taking down some criminals in a bunker, as he would have started to rip them apart, throwing them around, and basically ripping their chest out, as he would have been about 15 during this time. As Homelander would have looked back, as he would have seen, well, Star Fox, as they would have looked down at each other, having a standoff. As we can switch back to present time, through that flashback, as we see Homelander wake up from a sleep. As Homelander looks around, and he's shook with what the hell just happened, as he walks off. Now, this was all about episode 1, sorry. It's all about episode 1. But we're going to be switching away from episode 1 into episode 3. Because I don't feel like this episode is long enough. This part is long enough. So, let's dive right into it. Now, we start our story off from last episode, where we see Homelander walking around his house, basically being in a type of loft on the skirts of the city. As we would have been looking over the city, in his suit, flying over the city, flying around and having a little bit of a patrol. As he would have landed near a grave site, as he would have stood over a grave of a person, of somebody he knew. As he would have said that I'm here, Mom. As we get switched to, Star Fox's son, as he would have been basically tinkering with some technology and basically grabbing his cosmic rod, saying that it's a job he has to do solo. As we see that he does the job, and nothing in the situation really changes too much, as he goes back to what he was doing, right? As we get switched to, flashback. As we get switched to what was happening with Homelander in the warehouse. As Star Fox will look at him. Star Fox smirking and saying, "Come with me," and that you need to come with me. As he would have Homelander out of the base and would have taken him outside for the first time. His senses going off and his laser eyes about to go haywire. As Star Fox would have taken some sort of technology, slapping it on John, because that's Homelander's real name, but Homelander's arm, pretty much dampening his powers enough for it to be okay for him. As Homelander would have basically just grabbed Star Fox, and Star Fox sort of flew up in the sky with Homelander to a nearby, not warehouse, but a hideout Star Fox had that no one else knew about in this continuity. As he would have started to talk to Homelander, saying, "Where are you from? How are you? What happened?" As Homelander would have been kind of tweaking out, because this is the first time of him ever being outside of the warehouse, him ever being outside of VOT. Star Fox would they try to run some tests and figure out what the hell did they do to this kid, because he isn't a soup. There's something else in his blood, something else that isn't from where I got my powers from. He's different, maybe even stronger than Utopian. As he would have started to switch to, we get switched to the present time, as we get switched to basically the group talking about a new gig they are gonna get soon. But honestly, we could switch to, well, Back to the Past. Now, Back to the Past, as we see that, is a different story happening in this continuity. A different lineup. As we see that Homelander is walking down a hallway, as we get switched to another time gap of Homelander in his 20s. As we see that he's walking around as he gets stopped by a criminal. As Homelander's first gig out, his first ever real patrol as a real soup, and people know him. As he would have started to fight the villain, then being thrown against multiple buildings and making a bunch of collateral damage, killing people left and right. As the villain would have started to pummel, well, him to the ground again and again and again, over and over and over. As eventually he would have started about to kill, Homelander. Someone would have released his laser vision, cutting off the villain's arm clean. The villain would have yelled in pain. As Homelander would have grabbed his throat, throwing him into the ground, about to pummel the villain. As we could switch to present time. As basically, if you know, the flashbacks are just going to be flashbacks of Homelander's earlier years and how he would become him and how he would become more, let's just say, evil, but not truly evil. Because this is still, a good version. This ain't really, super bad Homelander. Now we get switched to, well, Star Fox's son talking to the big man, as this would all happen the same, but also them talking about something else. So the big man would have said that he wants to get his hands on the box of the Chameleon twins, but also to get his hands on something else that's in the box. So he tells him it's Compound V and to be careful, as Star Fox's son knows a little bit about Compound V and what it can do, as he despises it because it gives people the chance to become a soup, but it fucks with them. It makes their brain what he would describe weak. As we get switched back to, well, Landon. As we switch to Landon and Homelander talking, as Homelander would have been talking to Landon, basically trying to explain to him that what he did was good, but also that he needs to show him something about who he should be like. As we see that Homelander takes him to his warehouse away from his loft in some sort of mountain area in Antarctica that he made himself using his powers, and he's spending years making. As he would have showed him the warehouse, saying that this is something my apprentice showed me, somebody that your family is a part of. As he would have been shocked, saying, what do you mean? As we get switched back to the city, as we see that the group of, Star Fox's son would have still hit into Chloe, basically Chloe attacking them, and basically what would happen is they would have all fled, as well Star Fox's son would have also fled as well, basically dropping the Compound V and flying off. Or not flying off, but teleporting away. As we get switched to, well, another flashback with Star Fox and Homelander in their first couple of talks together. As Star Fox would have taken him to his but his hideout that was in Antarctica. And he would have told him that this is his base. He's made this and he's worked on this for months. Maybe with your help I can make it better. Maybe with my help I can make you into something better. As we switch to the end of this story. Now, episode 4 and 5 will be a little bit more better put together, but this is all just really what I wanted to do with the story and how I really wanted to change what was going on with the flashbacks and didn't want to show the same story because nothing really in those flashbacks changed too much because Homelander wasn't thought of yet. Homelander was thought of years or a couple of years after the, society or the heroes would have became a thing. But I'm gonna leave it off here, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. And as always, guys, have a blessed day. And all the events happening in episode 3 would have happened the same, Star Fox's son would have still got the device he was looking for, and yada yada yada. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it off here, guys. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Like and subscribe. And as always, guys, have a blessed day. Deuces.